Yo, what is up guys? So, in today's video, I will be going over the update for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, changes and adjustments to features and battle systems. This update dropped on January 20th, it is now the 28th. The reason why I waited about a week to make this video is because I wanted to actually play the game before I form any opinions on the update. Another thing is that during the December update, they made a lot of changes that they did not include in the patch notes for whatever reason. That is called a shadow change, shadow buffs, shadow nerfs, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, for some reason, they don't include every change that they make in the patch notes. And I wish they did, but yeah, that's another reason why I didn't make this video as soon as possible, is because I wanted to try and find whatever shadow changes and shadow nerfs, shadow buffs or whatever that they made, and I'm going to discuss whatever I found in this video, as well as go over whatever they did include. Without further ado, let's get started. So first thing, game mode adjustments. Legendary Warrior Face Off. This mode, where you can face off against an extremely powerful character, has been added for a limited time. I'm not sure how long they're going to be adding this, but spoiler alert, you face off against Broly. I haven't played it yet. It doesn't really appeal to me, but I do think a lot of people have fun doing this. I don't know what the reward is. I do think one of the rewards is that you get a title card. That thing doesn't really interest me, and that's why I haven't played it. But if you like it, then let other people know if you like it, or if you don't like it, then let people in the comments know if you don't like it, why or why not. Functionality adjustments. Episode battle. It is now possible to change the difficulty even when using a dragon orb. I do not know what a dragon orb is. I have not completed the story mode whatsoever. I got up to grade 8 Vegeta and I stopped there. It was kind of boring to me. I know a lot of people agree with that sentiment, that the story mode was very lackluster. So yeah, I don't really care for this change. Custom battle. More situations, effects, and text that you can set have been added. I have not played a custom battle yet, but I know a lot of people do request that I try some custom battle, so it could be fun. The fact that they're updating custom battle is good, so I like that, even though I don't play it. Player match. Quick match has been changed so that you do not enter a room and instead get immediately matched with an opponent. We have also added a quick room search for quick match. So a little nitpick on the quick match thing is that you have to go to player match and then go over here. I feel like it's just a little extra. I feel like quick match should be within like this little menu right here. Should be like quick match, ranked match, lobby matches or whatever, and then rankings. But overall, I'm very happy they added a quick match option. Unfortunately, almost all of my quick matches have been very laggy. But a lot of people say that they don't really experience that lag, so good on them. I'm also very happy I don't have to join some lobby now where I have to wait for a long time to get a match, and then like I'm also at the mercy of the host because I've been kicked so many times just because I ran gauntlets on people. So I'm happy to have a casual mode that just pairs me up with one guy and that's it. Ranked match. A wait time has been added before matching begins as a penalty based on the number of times you have disconnected. I feel like this is a little extra, penalizing rage quitters by taking away their ranked points and giving ranked points to the person who got rage quit on is enough. You don't need to time someone out for an extended amount of time or a certain period of time. You've already penalized them. I feel like the search queue already takes a long time now that the game is not as popular, so just extending the search queue even further is a little extra. Battle setup. You can now see the controls explanation when selecting a character. Oh, that's a cool little change. So you just press right trigger to see their little move set. So you don't have to choose them and go into the actual battle to see. You could just go on the menu and just check them out. So this is nice. This is a nice change, nice little quality of life change. Training. The option guarding after attacks has been added when playing against a CPU. So if you want to use this option in training mode, you just go into training settings, opponent settings, and it's the option before standing still, which is guarding after attacks. And I really like that they added this as an option in training mode. It's a good way to see if your combos are true, meaning if your opponent could block whatever string you want to do. So for example, let's say I do a flying kicks. That's a true combo, but if I want to do like a rolling hammer, it's not a true combo. So it's a very good way to check if you have tight combo strings, but sometimes it's not applicable to a match. A lot of people would still get hit by this. It depends. What I do wish they add is having the opponent attack you after certain things. So let's say for example, if I want to make sure if I could get punished after doing something like this, that would be really nice. I will say this this option of guarding after attacks has taught me a lot. So let's say for example, what I learned from experimenting with this option is this short dash attack, right? it's not a true combo, and that sucks. So the way to make it a true combo is you gotta charge it a little longer and get this little soft knockback, right? So I don't know why this short dash attack sucks so badly, and not to mention this short dash attack could be interrupted by ki blasts very easily. I really hope they buff this attack soon in the future. It's so bad. Another thing I found out when experimenting with this thing is this attack. Oops, sorry. The dragon dash, the high-speed dragon dash attack. It's not a true combo. It's no wonder I get punished so hard for trying to use it to close the gap. It's a lot of attacks to close distance is really not good, nor is it strong. So I'm glad they added this as an option in training mode. It really did teach me a few things and made me realize why I get punished for certain attacks. Okay, now for the juicy changes. Battle system adjustments, so adjustments to the battle mechanics. Charge attacks. Smash attack or rush chain. You will no longer recoil while charging when receiving a rush attack or rush ki blast from an opponent in sparking mode. Oh my god, my game is lagging. There you go. Yeah. Try again. In sparking mode specifically. Yeah, it's still not strong enough. Yeah. Rush attack. It is now harder to mistakenly input a smash attack during rush attacks. I'm really happy they implemented this change because before this patch, there'll be so many times I'll be doing a combo and then I'll accidentally input something like this attack in the middle of my combo, and that happened because of the combo momentum mechanic that they added, which means that as you do more hits to your opponent, the faster this charged smash attack will charge up. And as the match went on, it became easier to accidentally input this attack in the middle of your combo, and that could really mess you up. After having played this entire week, I have not accidentally inputted that in my combos, so that is great. I'm really happy they implemented that change, and more than that, I'm happy that the change actually works. Grand Slash. Hitting an opponent that is falling from a Grand Slash with another Grand Slash will now cause them to be blown away, spinning. This is a massive change. So if you didn't know, a lot of people set up combo resets or reset loops with a Grand Slash, right? Previously, if you hit a Grand Slash and you waited just a bit, the combo would reset and it would be a very easy reset. So let me show you what we used to do. The most simple reset used to be something like this. Just doing a Grand Slash and then stepping in and doing another Grand Slash. Now they've took it away to the point where you can't spam that. And doing this was like, it would destroy any D rank to B ranker because they didn't know they could just simply banish this, right? I do think this is a good change for the game. I do think the reset loops that we did was getting a little silly. I don't think you should be able to do like a really long combo, because this isn't a true reset. What we did before wasn't a true reset. It was just looping people. A true reset would be something like attacking them and then resetting to neutral and then reopening them up. That's what a reset is, in my opinion. But just hitting them over and over with one attack that just so happens to reset the combo counter, that's more of a loop than a reset. That was just a flaw in the game. But how we used to do resets is we would hit like a Grand Slash and then we'd restand them and then hit another Grand Slash. And that no longer works. It causes them to get knocked away. There are still ways to reset loop your opponent. I don't think resets should be in the game, especially with the changes that we will be discussing later. But I'll show you guys anyway. I don't really do these resets, but if you wait long enough, you could still do this Grand Slash reset, right? You just have to be really patient. Right, you can still reset them. This is a pretty tight frame window because if you are too late with it, they could sidestep you and sidestep out of it. But if you are good at it, you could keep them in this loop. Wait, I messed up. But yeah, you can see how the timing on it is pretty tight. Another reset loop is you could gut punch them, Ki Blast, do this. Yeah. There is another reset where you can use the rolling hammer. He was able to turn around, but most times you would be able to keep their back. But even you could do it from the front as well. But the combo counter won't reset against the bot. But if you're going up against a opponent, oops, sorry. But if you're going up against a normal person, you just do this. If you wait a bit, that will reset. It didn't reset the bot because of the certain settings, but yeah, if you just wait a bit after a rolling hammer, it will reset the combo. There's another really simple reset where you can just, you know, combo them, do this. Yep. I don't know if resets should be in the game still. I'm only showing this to you guys so the devs are aware and could see that resets still exist. You can see in my recent gameplay, I don't abuse resets. I don't think resets should be in the game. So try your best not to abuse resets. That's my opinion though, so if you want to, go ahead. Rush Ki Blast. You will no longer be able to perform a high-speed evasion when being hit. So I was a little confused on what this is, but this is the Rush Ki Wave, the Rush Chain. So what it is this thing, which was pretty useless in before this patch because it was so easy to vanish this, right? The CPU used to be able to vanish this all the time, even when you set it to guard. But now the CPU won't vanish it. Right? Even though I have it on set to guard, previously the CPU used to be able to vanish it. It was so easy to vanish that they would vanish it when resetting their guard. But, yep, it is now unvanishable. You cannot vanish this anymore. But I will say it is extremely easy to super counter it. Very easy to super counter this. But if you do this, like let's say in the beginning of your combo, your opponent probably won't be trying to super counter, and this comes out pretty quickly. So they'd have to be ready to super counter it if they want to avoid this move. Or they could just simply sidestep it. It's still not a very strong move, but at the very least, if you do manage to land it, all they could do is super counter it. With that being said, allow me to show you guys something cool with the Ki Rush Wave. Yep, I'm able to blank someone if I please. This doesn't work all the time against online opponents, but if they do not recover in time, you could easily flank them and reset the combo. Another thing is that you could just take this opportunity to start a knockback chain. And you can see how much damage it's doing. It does a lot of damage. The Ki Rush Wave, this is the highest damaging rush chain there is, I believe. I'm not sure, but it damages a lot. It also does a lot of chip damage. I don't know if you guys saw, but let me show you guys again. If they block it, that's a lot of chip damage. 1800. And this move is safe on block, right? If they try to attack you after this move, you guys will just end up clashing. And if you're ready for it, you could catch them off guard. So you can just do this and then sidestep and be safe. But yeah, overall I'm really happy that they buffed this move. This makes a lot more characters more viable. Like the Vegetas all have this step in ki rush wave. And like it's not like insanely good now, but at least it's more usable than it was previously. Way more usable. So yeah, there was a point in before this patch that I just avoided using characters that had this move. Now it's not that bad. Like I still prefer not to use it, but if I accidentally use it, at least I could start a knockback chain with it. I could probably do some cool stuff with it. It does do a lot of damage, so yeah, it's pretty viable now. It's not that bad, and I do think if I lab it a bit more and get used to using it against people online, maybe it'll be a lot more useful than I initially thought. Smash Ki Blast. You will now be easier to hit when firing while moving. I don't know what this really means. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It just means that when you're charging a Smash Ki Blast, you're gonna be easier to hit. I feel like there hasn't been many, like throughout this week of playing, I haven't felt any change to the Smash Ki Blast really. So yeah, I don't know what this really is talking about. Perception / super perception. A certain amount of ki will now be consumed upon activation. After finishing the move, the time until the next action is able to be performed has been increased. So, perception will now cost 1/4 of a ki bar upon activation, and it will slowly drain ki as you hold it, which a lot of people didn't know that it does slowly drain ki as you hold it. It's just that you won't feel that if you have at least 2 ki bars, right? I still don't really feel this change all too much, although I have been punished when I have 0 ki and I try to use a perception, it will not activate. And I've been opened up because I'm trying to perception with no ki. So this is a good change. I think the best change is that there is end lag to a perception now. You can't just immediately reset your perception. Just being able to constantly reset your perception. There is end lag to it, and you will be sidestepped or punished for it. Let's see if I can catch the CPU doing it. Come on. Yeah, you can see how I was able to catch him. Before he would, you would be able to just catch people constantly with a perception. Now you could easily punish people as soon as they let go of perception. You can punish them very easily because they're going to be left open for a little bit. And I do think that's a very good change. It makes it so that playing neutral game is a little more important. You don't have to constantly spam them with Ki Blast to try and condition them to stop holding perception. You could just catch them when they hold perception and sidestep them, and they won't be able to really reset their perception as easily. Because the issue with perception before was that sidestepping them didn't really help all too much, because they could just reset their perception, track your sidestep, and then punish you. And then it's just like, okay, why did I even bother? Now sidestepping perception holders is actually very useful, and you can take their back too. Super counter. Time between being able to perform an input has been increased after unsuccessfully performing the move. So, I believe people have data mined the game. Beforehand, people claimed it was a 12-frame lockout for after each unsuccessful super counter, and now people are claiming it is about a 30-frame lockout, which is, I believe, 0.45 seconds. That is a major change. And I do feel the change in super counter throughout this whole week. If someone catches my back, it is very difficult to super counter them. I have to be able to time a certain attack during a super counter to be able to get out of the combo. Well, not have to. It's still mashable, but it's a lot more difficult. I will say that. Okay, I have the CPU settings set to rush attacks. Let's see if I could super counter their rush attacks.
You're mine.
Yes, very nice. Usually you saw me super counter the step-in attack, right? And I think that's the best time to super counter them. This attack right here. You could time that easily. Yeah, you can see how I'm getting locked out. Yep, I'm getting locked out. This is not good. Damn. Okay, there it is. Let me try mashing it now. So mashing it could still work. You can see my inputs. I'm mashing it. Whoops. Yeah, mashing it is probably not going to be very as useful as it was before. I kind of timed that one. Yeah, it still works sometimes. I do think it's better to try and time it, visually time it. It's way easier said than done though. I think, but like I said earlier, it's probably way better to time super countering this attack right here. Which, when you practice, it's really not that difficult. I will say that if they are in front of you, I would have a lot of my focus not just on super countering, but trying to vanish whatever rush chain they try to hit you with, whether that's like a gut punch, a rolling hammer, or a low sweep, right? I would also recommend trying to read out what they're going to choose in terms of their direction for their follow-up attack. I would only really go for the super counter on the follow-up attack if they have my back, right? A tip I could give you guys in terms of trying to super counter the follow-up attack is right when it looks like their hit is about to land on you, that's when I would super counter it, or try to super counter it, or input the super counter, I should say, sorry. But it's hard to say because depending on the connection, the visual cue is different for each connection. On a really good connection, it's right when the hit lands on you. So if the worse the connection is, the earlier you have to press it. The better the connection is, the later you have to press super counter. So just remember that. I do like the super counter changes. Before this patch, I was very frustrated because when I was going up against a good player, they would super counter me right away. It made throwing hands feel almost useless. That could still be the case against a very good player, but I have a higher likelihood of catching them now that it's easier to make mistakes with super countering. Another thing is that they did buff revenge counters, which they did not mention in these patch notes. I will talk about it later, but buffing revenge counters does compensate for the super counter nerf in the case where if you can't get a super counter off, you can just revenge counter and reset the engagement. But yeah, I would say overall I like the changes they made in terms of the defensive mechanics. Okay, speed impact. The timing for being able to input again after the move finishes has been made later. So what a speed impact is when both of you guys are dragon dashing at each other and then you clash into each other and cause a quick time event. Let's see if I could get the CPU to do it right here. So what they did is cause the quick time event to pop up a little later, like maybe a second later, because there have been so many times where I'm just like mashing the attack button and then I fail the event because because I'm mashing. But now that the event pops up a little later, I no longer just fail because I'm mashing, which honestly I shouldn't be mashing, but I'm happy they made that change. Now I have a slightly less chance of losing the quick time event. Let's see if I can force another clash. Come on. Dash at me. Dash at me. Right here. I think in order to win this game, you have to press the X button or square button right on the purple circle. A lot of people don't know how to play that game. I can't say I know how to play it for certain, but I do think it has to do with pressing the X button right on the purple circle. And I failed there. That was not good. But yeah, I really like that change. I was so tired of just getting caught mashing, and then I failed that speed impact quick time event. It was very frustrating. So that's a very, very good change. I love it. Chase change. Damage from giant characters has been reduced when chase changing into them. So what a chase change is when you do this, and then you switch a character, and then you get a knockback from it. The thing with giants is that when you would do that, there was a bug that their knockback did 8.5k damage. And a lot of people, almost nobody knew about that bug. Yeah, people in my community Discord knew about that bug, and it was very bad. It was not good. So I'm surprised the developers knew about that bug. I'm very glad that they changed it. I hope they know about the other bugs that are going on in the game, and I hope that they change that too. So yeah, going up against a giant player who would do that would be very, very bad. 8.5k damage upon a switch and smash attack is insane. That is a lot. When blown back by a lift strike, holding the down button will activate impact recovery once you hit the ground. Also, when blown back and spinning, holding the button down will activate impact recovery once you hit the ground. They did something weird with impact recovery in this patch. Sometimes I could recover, sometimes I can't. I can't really speak on the specifics of impact recoveries. It's quite frustrating, but I guess what they wanted to do was, you know, now that they try to take away the resets in the combo mechanics, they wanted like hard knockdowns to be a really big part of the combo mechanics, and a hard knockdown into like a super, for example, is what they want. But it's a lot easier to get hard knockdowns now, and you could set up a lot of things upon a hard knockdown. Sometimes I could recover from it, sometimes I can't. I think they tightened the window for recovery, and yeah, sometimes it's very frustrating. I can't really speak on it because I've played all week, and sometimes I could recover, sometimes I can't. If you know any specifics, please let me know. I'm very confused on it. But I do want to show you guys something interesting, like a change they made to the lift strike combo. The lift strike combo used to knock them pretty far back. Now the regular one does not, right? In order to get the original knockback, you have to do a gut punch into it, and then you see how much farther they are. With that being said, since they are much closer, you could continue the combo off the normal lift strike combo, which is very interesting. Not every character can do this. Most characters, you have to do a slightly charged smash attack to be able to follow up. For example, Gohan just completely misses. So in order to follow up on this combo, very interesting. Very fun. It's a very flashy combo. I like this new addition. I will say lift strike combos are not the best. The reason being is there are some people who know how to recover from this and just will immediately perception you, even if you have their back. So lift strike combos can be risky. That's why I don't really spam them all too often, because 50% of high level players know how to just recover and go into a perception immediately, and then you get punished for it. I hope they change that in the future. It should not be that easy to recover and go into a perception and then you get punished for trying to combo them. One thing you could do is just go for a grab. Well, the CPU is not recovering, but if you know they're gonna recover, you can just go for a grab and then grab them. But one thing they didn't change about perception is that you're still able to deflect grabs while perceptioning. They should change that. I hope they do in the future. Overall automatic avoidance skills, for example Wild Sense, the opponent will no longer be able to use these skills when performing a combo and continuing the combo with a Russian. So a lot of people didn't know this, but in the December patch, for some reason they like buffed Wild Sense, they buffed After Image Strike, they buffed After Image, where you could use it in the middle of a combo, and it could be like a pseudo combo breaker, and it was very annoying. I took advantage of it though, no shame. But yeah, it's a lot of people didn't know about that, and I have no clue why they included that in the December patch. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, right here, that step in attack. People were previously able to use Wild Sense, After Image, or After Image Strike in the middle of this combo right here. If there was even any slight gap, they'd be able to activate a Wild Sense, and then you'd get punished for trying to combo them. And it was pretty annoying. You could still use skills if you do like a fully charged Gut Punch. There is enough time for your opponent to activate a skill, and then you can get punished for that. So be careful of that. With that being said, I do believe they changed the way step-ins work. Like, look at this. Why is this missing? You have to be more patient with characters who have a step-in rolling hammer, because if you immediately try to press it, there's a chance it will miss. The tracking is not that great in this new patch. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced really bad tracking in this new patch. So be very careful with sidestep heavies. I would really recommend you guys do sidestep into a normal combo now. Do not, well, I don't want to say do not, but use sparingly a sidestep into a heavy. I would not do that very often anymore. So the combo tracking in this new patch is a little odd. I think a lot of it has to do with them messing with how sidesteps work. Maybe that was their way of nerfing sidesteps, because sidestep was a little strong. Maybe they nerfed the combo tracking of it. I don't know. Wild Sense attack damage has been reduced. This is very good. I'm very happy with this, because Wild Sense did do a ton of damage, especially on higher DP characters such as SS4 Gogeta or MUI Goku. So yeah, that's nice. Kaioken, skill count consumed has been reduced, only for Goku Z early. I believe it was 3 skill points. They never reduced it from the December patch. It is now 2 skill points. Kaioken is just simply a buff move. I do believe you could stack Kaioken on top of itself, but still not a very good buff move. They still have to buff the buff moves. It's just not good. I'm sorry. I do think that a good way to buff the buff moves is make them last longer. Give them like some sort of mechanical advantage. Like, let's say if you use a buff move, you could break through super armor. Like, if you're a low DP character, you would struggle to break through super armor on Broly or a Giant. If you use a buff move, a good way to buff it is allow characters to break through super armor. Or let's say if they use false courage, if you use a buff move to count, you could use a buff move to counter false courage. I think that's a very fair buff, and it would make it equal to false courage, and false courage right now is the most valuable buff move. Tada, which is Gotenks' buff move, still not very good. Skill count consumed has been reduced, still not the most useful in my opinion. This is the most interesting buff. All I need is 5 seconds. Ki will be fully recovered. You will gain a full ki gauge with SSJ4 Goku upon using All I Need is 5 seconds. This is the second buff they made to SSJ4 Goku. I think the devs really like SSJ4 Goku. That is insane. This is a very strong skill now. If you use this buff after a Gut Punch and then use a super right after, that is like a 15k damage combo, and you are guaranteed a super now because you have full ki. Matter of fact, let me just demonstrate it for you guys.
I'll beat you in 5 seconds. No use.
I could boost it, but let's compare the damage. 17.8k damage is insane. Okay, let's compare it when I boost it.
I'll beat you in 5 seconds. No use.
20k damage is crazy. 21k because he smashed into the ground. That is insane damage. Yeah, I don't know if this will make GT Goku meta. I do think GT Goku is a very strong character, but I don't know if that justifies spending 5 DP on GT Goku and then spending 3 skill points to transform into SS4 Goku. It's just a lot of setup, but I do imagine GT Goku being way more viable now. Will he be a strong meta? I don't know. I do think this is a very fun buff. I do believe every buff move should be, I don't know if it should be as strong as this, but this is a nice little buff to a buff move. Other, user friendliness and performance stability has been improved. I do not feel any improvement in the performance stability, unfortunately. User friendliness, I still don't feel any user friendliness changes, so it is what it is. There were no changes in the UI, or like I still get com errored a crap ton. This is a straight up lie. This is false. Now I would like to go over shadow changes that they made that they did not include into the patch notes. I don't know why they wouldn't include it. A lot of these things are very important to mention. But first things first, camera angle. Notice how I could finally see opponents above me. Previously, I could not see anybody who ascended upward, who did something like this. I would not be able to see them if they went above me. Now, I could finally see people who are above me, and that is very good. I complained about it all the time. People messing with my visibility because they ascended upward was very strong. I could not tell what they were trying to do. Now I could see, and that's great. I don't know why they wouldn't include that in the patch notes. Unfortunately, they haven't changed combo tracking in terms of verticality. Like, check this out. Why is my character sideways? Right? Like, they need to improve the vertical tracking of combos. Like, it's tracking in this new patch is very bad, but elevating and ascending upward or downward is still very strong, because if your opponent tries to chase you down, they cannot catch you. A tip I have for you guys in the case of that happening is if they are above you, high speed dragon dash and press upward. You will end up in front of them instead of like right under them. So again, if they are above you, high speed dragon dash, press up. I do not recommend doing the high speed dragon dash attack. I just recommend dashing to them and doing a normal combo. Like that. And if they are above you, do the opposite. So high speed dragon dash and press downward. And you'll end up in front of them. Right? Yeah. If you just do a raw high speed dragon dash while directly under them or above them, chances are you're just gonna miss your combo. That is not good. Especially if they're like using Yajirobe or Super Buu or something. So again, if they are above you, high speed dragon dash and press up, you'll end up directly in front of them, and that improves your tracking by a lot. And if they are under you, high speed dragon dash, press downward, and you could stop a lot of setups by doing that. So many people will dash upward, try to mess with your combo tracking because they know the verticality is ass, and are able to get instant sparking off or a regen off. You could also potentially take their back if you do a high speed dragon dash and input sideways. So it's not a guaranteed back take, but sometimes you could. Very interesting. Have fun with that. One thing I wish they would change is vertical tracking of ki blasts. Like, why are so many of my ki blasts just completely missing? This is insane. Some of them will vertically track, but like, it should be like, this is terrible. Like, I wouldn't need to worry about my combo tracking if my ki blast at least tracked, but nothing. Like, verticality in this game is terrible. At the very least, they improved the visuals of the verticality, but it still needs a lot of improvements. It's really bad. Another shadow change they made in this update is the first 2 key bars will charge pretty quickly, and then the rest will be normal. I really like this change. it kind of compensates for the 2 key bar Z-Burst dash, because now you could get a Z-Burst dash rather quickly. It will feel like it only costs 1 key bar with the extra quick charge speed on the first 2 key bars. So every character will have access to a pretty quick Z-Burst dash because of this new change. Again, don't know why they wouldn't mention that in the patch notes. I would say it's a very big and important change, but here I am relaying that information to you guys. Another change that they did not mention, and for some reason, I don't know why they would make this change, is characters that fall, that non-flying characters, before they fell at like a medium speed. It wasn't that bad, but now they fall at a very fast speed, extremely fast. And you would think this is a disadvantage for the person who is using the falling character, but is actually an advantage for them. Let's say, for example, if I'm directly in front of them, right? I hold perception, I'm safe. If they land a hit on me, then they're gonna proc my perception. But if they try to sidestep my perception, they will not be able to hit me, because the vertical tracking in this game, like I discussed earlier, is not good at all. So I could literally just freaking sit here in front of them and just hold perception. If they try to attack me and they land a hit on me, then they're gonna proc my perception. If they try to sidestep it, they're just gonna waste time, and I'm gonna descend so quickly that they can't punish me. It's very dumb. I don't know why they would make that change. It only makes Yajirobe stronger, which Yajirobe is a massive issue in this new meta. Yajirobe feels almost impossible to hit if you guys are in the air now. And yeah, not to mention, you can't really grab people who are descending really quickly. It's very frustrating. So yeah, I don't know why they would make that change. Nobody was complaining about it. It's very silly. It ended up being a buff to characters who do not fly, and Yajirobe is one of them, and Yajirobe did not need any buffs. Speaking of Yajirobe, they did do a shadow nerf to his super, which is the Flash and Kill super, I think it's called. You can no longer easily chain them together. Before this patch, on certain stages, Cell Games Arena, you could actually infinitely chain them together. And nobody knew about that. I knew about it, but I never spoke about it, of course, because I didn't want people doing it. But yeah, I guess the devs knew about it, and that's good. But before this patch, you were able to infinitely chain this super together on certain stages. Now, I don't know if you could still chain 2 of them, but your opponent will be able to vanish you, so it could potentially do more damage because it resets, but at the very least it is vanishable. Previously, if you got hit by this, it's a guaranteed 12 to like 14k damage, and it was very strong. Another shadow buff that they made is instant transmission is stronger now. The CPU is able to lock onto me. I don't know how to make the CPU not lock onto me. But whenever I've been hit by instant transmission, it is now kind of like how it was in the vanilla game and the base game, where it takes forever for me to find my opponent. I don't know why the CPU is able to easily lock onto me, but they definitely shadow buffed instant transmission. They are now more it's now more difficult to find someone who has instant transmission on you, and you could use this instant transmission to set up a lot of things. Like you could instant transmission, switch into Yajirobe, and then just get a freaking sensor beam off. Right? That's very annoying. Since I'm on Gogeta Blue, one thing they changed is Stardust Barrier is now safer. Right? It's still punishable with a super, but before it was like there was so much end lag to it that you could literally dash up to someone and punish them. Dash up to Gogeta Blue and punish him, I should say. But now it recovers a lot quicker, and he's no longer punishable by combo. He is still punishable by super though, but now this Stardust Barrier is way better. This is the second buff they have on Gogeta Blue. And I do think the base fusions in DP battle is a sleeper meta. A lot of people are not using base Vegito or base Gogeta when they are probably the strongest 7 DP characters. And they could transform to 10 DP characters. I don't know why a lot more people are not using them. Like Gogeta Blue is very, very strong. A shadow nerf they did to Gogeta Blue is this Ki Blast, this charge Ki Blast. Previously, you could not deflect it. Right, you could deflect like the first Ki Blast of this little charge Ki Blast, but now you can deflect all of it. I wish I could demonstrate it for you, but I don't think I could set the CPU to do it to me. But just know you can deflect this charge Ki Blast now. And you would not believe this. They nerfed Mr. Satan a second time. In the December patch, they gave him more end lag at the end of his present bomb super, meaning that like he has to stand still for a little bit before he can move again. They now made it cost 4 key bars to do a present bomb. It is insane. Why are they continuously nerfing Mr. Satan? He's not like meta or anything. I don't know why they keep nerfing him. It's pretty funny. I guess it's because he's the champ. He's just too strong. He's the best.
Another really big thing that they shadow changed and is really important is revenge countering being neutral upon hitting. As you can see, we clash after my revenge counter hits. But if the revenge counter hit is blocked, you can punish them, as you can tell. Now there's a lot of neutral games surrounding revenge counters. As you can see, I sidestep after a revenge counter. You could also predict a revenge counter and sidestep and you'll get this cool sway effect. If they're gonna revenge counter you in the middle of your normal combos, you could super counter it, and it's actually pretty easy to super counter. You don't really have to time the super counter input at all. It's very easy to super counter a revenge counter, but it's difficult to react to it. And there's a normal perception to a revenge counter. Here's the long range revenge counter, which is kinda bad, but they did buff it. It is a lot safer now. It used to be very negative, but you can see it could be easily sidestepped. If they block it, it's not safe. Here we are testing the slingshot revenge counter. I like to call it the slingshot revenge counter. And as you can tell, if the land hits, it's positive, meaning it's your turn to attack. And if it gets blocked, you guys are neutral, as you can tell.
Okay.
So if it gets blocked, maybe it's best instead of challenging the clash, you sidestep it. But as you saw, it was vanishable and sidesteppable. But if you're able to get a slingshot on a knockback chain, that would be massive. But yeah, anyway, those are all of the changes I could think of in the patch. I hope you guys learned something. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Have a good night, you guys.